Deep in the Utah desert, 85 miles southwest of Salt Lake City, lies one of America's most secretive military installations. Dugway Proving Ground sprawls across 801,505 acres of barren landscape larger than the state of Rhode Island. While Area 51 in Nevada captures headlines and Hollywood imagination, Dugway operates in shadows so deep that most Americans have never heard its name. The facility was established in 1942 as a testing site for chemical and biological weapons during World War II. Originally designated as Dugway Proving Ground Station, it served as the primary location for developing and testing chemical munitions, biological warfare agents, and protective equipment. The remote Utah location offered perfect isolation, harsh desert terrain, minimal population, and natural barriers that kept prying eyes away. Dugway's early years involved horrific experiments that would later spark controversy and conspiracy theories. Between 1942 and 1969, the facility conducted over 40 tests involving chemical agents including mustard gas, nerve agents, and biological weapons like anthrax. The 1968 Skull Valley incident brought Dugway into public awareness when a test of the nerve agent VX killed over 60 sheep in the surrounding area. The Army initially denied responsibility before eventually paying compensation to local ranchers. The facility's official mission today focuses on chemical and biological defense testing, counterterrorism research, and force protection. Dugway's West Desert Test Center conducts live-fire testing of conventional munitions, while the Chemical Biological Test Operations manages defensive research programs. The installation employs approximately 1,400 military personnel, civilian employees, and contractors. But Dugway's official functions don't explain why UFO researchers increasingly call it America's new Area 51. Since the 1990s, reports of unusual aerial phenomena over Dugway have multiplied. Witnesses describe craft exhibiting flight characteristics that defy conventional physics, objects making 90-degree turns at high speed, hovering silently for extended periods, then accelerating to hypersonic velocities without producing sonic booms. In March 2019, a former Dugway contractor named Michael Herrera came forward with explosive allegations. Herrera claimed that during his deployment to the facility in 2009, he witnessed what he described as non-human craft operating from underground hangars. According to Herrera, these vehicles measured approximately 300 feet in diameter, produced no visible propulsion systems, and demonstrated capabilities far beyond known military technology. Herrera's account includes specific details that researchers find compelling. He describes seeing 6 triangular craft emerge from what appeared to be solid ground near the facility's southern perimeter. The objects rose vertically without sound, hovered at roughly 200 feet altitude, then departed at speeds Herrera estimated exceeded 50 miles per hour. Military personnel at the scene reportedly acted as if such events were routine. The credibility of Herrera's testimony gains weight from his documented military service record and security clearance history. Before going public, Herrera worked for 15 years as a defense contractor with top secret clearances. His detailed knowledge of Dugway's layout, operational procedures, and personnel structure aligns with verified information about the facility. Other witnesses have reported similar phenomena around Dugway. In July 2020, commercial pilot Janet Morrison filed a report with the Federal Aviation Administration describing an encounter while flying over Utah's West Desert. Morrison observed what she initially assumed was a military aircraft conducting exercises near Dugway's restricted airspace. Morrison's aircraft was cruising at 370 feet when she noticed an object moving parallel to her flight path approximately 10 miles to the south. The object appeared metallic and reflected sunlight intermittently. Morrison estimated its length at over 200 feet, with no visible wings, engines, or control surfaces. After maintaining steady flight for roughly 3 minutes, The object accelerated vertically at what Morrison described as impossible speed before disappearing from view. The FAA confirmed receiving Morrison's report but stated that no military exercises were scheduled in the area at that time. Dugway's Public Affairs Office declined to comment on Morrison's sighting, citing operational security policies. Dugway's connection to advanced aerospace research extends beyond eyewitness accounts. Defense spending records show the facility has received significant funding increases since 2010, with much of the budget classified under Black Project designations. The 2019 National Defense Authorization Act allocated $87 million for special access programs at Dugway, representing a 340% increase from the previous year. These funding patterns mirror those seen at Area 51 during periods when that facility was developing classified aircraft like the U-2 spy plane, SR-71 Blackbird, and F-117 stealth fighter. UFO researchers suggest that Dugway may now serve as a testing ground for next-generation aerospace technology that appears otherworldly to outside observers. The facility's unique geography supports such operations. Dugway's restricted airspace extends 40 miles in any direction, creating an 80-mile diameter no-fly zone, larger than Area 51's protected area. The terrain includes salt flats perfect for landing unconventional aircraft, mountain ranges that provide natural radar shielding, and underground facilities that can hide sensitive operations from satellite surveillance. Geological surveys reveal extensive underground infrastructure at Dugway. The facility sits atop a network of natural caves and human-made tunnels that reportedly extend for miles beneath the desert floor. Former employees describe elevator systems that descend several hundred feet below ground level, accessing laboratories and storage areas invisible from the surface. In 2021, investigative journalist George Knapp obtained documents through Freedom of Information Act requests that shed light on Dugway's classified programs. The documents, heavily redacted, reference something called Project Looking Glass, a research initiative involving exotic propulsion systems and non-conventional lift technologies. The project apparently began in 2008 and continues under different classification levels. One partially unredacted document describes testing of atmospheric plasma manipulation, techniques that could theoretically allow aircraft to achieve gravity-independent flight characteristics. While the technical details remain classified, the language suggests research into propulsion methods that don't rely on traditional aerodynamic principles. Local residents near Dugway report unusual activity that correlates with these classified programs. Ranch owners in nearby Skull Valley describe seeing strange lights in the sky, often moving in formations that suggest intelligent control. These sightings typically occur during late night or early morning hours, consistent with military testing schedules designed to minimize public observation. Mary and John Patterson, who ranch approximately 20 miles from Dugway's perimeter, have documented over 100 unusual aerial sightings since 2015. The Pattersons maintain detailed logs including dates, times, weather conditions, and descriptions of observed phenomena. Their records show patterns of activity that peak during certain months, suggesting scheduled testing programs rather than random events. The Pattersons' most dramatic encounter occurred in September 2022. At approximately 2:30 a.m., bright lights approaching from Dugway's direction woke them. Looking outside, they observed three triangular objects flying in perfect formation at an estimated altitude of 500 feet. The craft produced no engine noise despite their low altitude and apparent size. Each object displayed pulsing lights in configurations unlike any known military aircraft. The formation flew directly overhead, allowing the Pattersons to observe structural details. They described smooth, seamless surfaces with no visible joints, rivets, or panel lines. The underside of each craft showed a faint luminescence that seemed to emanate from the material itself rather than external lighting systems. After passing over their ranch, the objects accelerated rapidly and disappeared beyond the eastern mountains. John Patterson, a retired Air Force mechanic with 20 years of service, compared the encounter to his experience with classified aircraft during his military career. According to Patterson, the objects he witnessed displayed capabilities that exceeded anything in the known U.S. inventory, including experimental programs he had been briefed on during his service. Dugway's role in UFO research gained additional attention following the Pentagon's establishment of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office in 2022. AARO's mission includes investigating unidentified aerial phenomena reports from military personnel and government employees. Several AARO cases reportedly originate from incidents near Dugway Proving Ground, though specific details remain classified. The facility's historical connection to secret programs provides context for current UFO speculation. During the Cold War, Dugway hosted Project Shad Shipboard Hazard and Defense, a classified chemical and biological warfare research program. The project conducted experiments so sensitive that details remain classified for over 40 years. Veterans who participated in SHAD testing only learned the true nature of their exposure when documents were declassified in 2002. This pattern of extreme secrecy lasting decades establishes precedent for current classified programs at Dugway. If the facility is indeed testing exotic propulsion technologies or housing recovered non-human craft, as some researchers speculate, such programs would likely remain classified for similar timeframes. The speculation gains credibility from personnel movements between Dugway and other classified facilities. Flight records show regular transport flights between Dugway and Area 51, typically using unmarked aircraft operating under military call signs. These flights often occur at night and follow routes designed to avoid populated areas. Former Area 51 employees have reportedly transferred to Dugway positions in recent years, bringing expertise in handling classified aerospace programs. While personnel transfers between military facilities are routine, the specific pattern of movement from Nevada's most famous secret base to Utah's emerging equivalent suggests operational connections between the two sites. Dr. Sites. Eric Davis, an astrophysicist who has consulted for government UFO programs, has publicly stated that certain military installations possess materials not of this world. While Davis hasn't specifically mentioned Dugway, his comments about crash retrieval programs and reverse engineering efforts align with speculation about activities at the Utah facility. The crash retrieval theory suggests that Dugway serves as a storage and analysis site for recovered UFO debris. The facility's biological and chemical defense mission would provide perfect cover for studying unknown materials and technologies. Teams equipped to handle hazardous substances could safely examine potentially dangerous alien artifacts without raising suspicions about the true nature of their research. Supporting this theory, Dugway has significantly expanded its materials analysis capabilities since 2010. The facility now houses one of the military's most advanced electron microscopy laboratories, capable of analyzing materials at the atomic level. The lab's official mission involves developing countermeasures to biological and chemical weapons, but the same equipment could analyze exotic materials of unknown origin. In 2020, Dugway received a $45 million upgrade to its secure biological research laboratory. The new facility includes containment systems designed to handle unknown biological agents and potentially hazardous materials of unknown composition. While these capabilities make sense for biological defense research, they would also be essential for safely examining recovered UFO debris. The laboratory's security measures exceed those typically required for conventional biological research. The facility operates under Biosafety Level 4 protocols, normally reserved for the most dangerous pathogens known to science. Multiple independent air filtration systems, negative pressure containment, and electromagnetic shielding protect against both biological contamination and information leakage. Dugway's electromagnetic research programs add another layer to UFO speculation. The facility operates one of the world's largest electromagnetic pulse simulators, capable of generating fields powerful enough to disable electronic systems across wide areas. This capability would be essential for safely handling crashed UFO technology that might pose electromagnetic hazards. The EMP facility, known as the Electromagnetic Radiation Hazard Simulator, can generate field strengths exceeding those produced by nuclear explosions. While officially designed to test military equipment's resistance to electromagnetic warfare, the same capability could neutralize potentially dangerous alien technology long enough for safe recovery and analysis. Recent construction at Dugway includes underground facilities whose purpose remains classified. Satellite imagery shows extensive excavation work that began in 2018 and continues today. The construction pattern suggests deep underground installations with multiple levels and sophisticated access control systems. The underground expansion coincides with increased security measures at Dugway. The facility now employs private security contractors in addition to military police, creating multiple layers of protection around sensitive areas. Perimeter security includes motion sensors, infrared cameras, and drone patrols that monitor the surrounding desert for unauthorized intrusion. Local law enforcement agencies report being asked to avoid certain areas near Dugway during training exercises that can last for days. These exclusion zones often encompass airspace and ground areas where UFO sightings have occurred, suggesting possible correlation between classified activities and anomalous phenomena. The connection between Dugway and UFO research extends to academic institutions. The University of Utah maintains classified contracts with the facility for research programs whose details remain secret. University personnel with high-level security clearances regularly travel to Dugway for projects that don't appear in public research databases. Dr. Clote, Sarah Mitchell, a materials scientist at the University of Utah, held a contract with Dugway from 2019 to 2021 for research she describes only as exotic materials analysis. Mitchell's published research focuses on metamaterials with unusual electromagnetic properties, substances that could theoretically enable technologies like cloaking devices or propulsion systems that manipulate electromagnetic fields. The academic connection provides Dugway with access to cutting-edge research capabilities while maintaining plausible deniability about the true nature of classified programs. University researchers can analyze unusual materials and develop new technologies without knowing their ultimate application or origin. Dugway's role in UFO research may also involve international cooperation. The facility hosts personnel from allied nations under exchange programs that officially focus on chemical and biological defense. These arrangements could facilitate sharing of UFO-related intelligence and technology between countries dealing with similar phenomena. British, Canadian, and Australian personnel have maintained regular presence at Dugway since 2016. Their assignments officially involve joint research on detection and protection systems for biological and chemical threats. However, these same nations are known to have their own classified UFO programs and could be collaborating on analysis of recovered materials or development of exotic technologies. The international aspect gains significance from reports of similar UFO activity near military facilities in allied countries. Australia's Woomera Test Range, Britain's Portendown facility, and Canada's Suffield Research Centre have all been associated with unusual aerial phenomena and speculation about exotic technology programs. Communication intercepts by amateur radio operators suggest coordinated activities between these facilities and Dugway. Encrypted transmissions using unusual protocols have been detected between Utah and foreign installations during periods when UFO sightings peak in their respective areas. The technology development aspect of Dugway's operations may explain some witnessed phenomena without requiring extraterrestrial origins. Advanced military research into hypersonic vehicles, directed energy weapons, and electromagnetic propulsion could produce effects that appear supernatural to outside observers. Hypersonic research at Dugway reportedly includes vehicles capable of speeds exceeding Mach 20, fast enough to cross the entire facility in seconds and potentially invisible to conventional radar systems. Such vehicles could explain reports of objects disappearing and reappearing in distant locations without visible transition periods. Directed energy research might produce the luminous effects often associated with UFO sightings. Plasma generation systems, laser arrays, and particle beam weapons can create bright atmospheric displays that resemble structured craft to distant observers. The electromagnetic effects of such systems could also interfere with vehicle electronics and communications equipment, adding to the mysterious nature of encounters. Electromagnetic propulsion research represents the most exotic possibility. Theoretical physics suggests that manipulating electromagnetic fields could allow objects to achieve apparent anti-gravity effects and unconventional flight characteristics. While such technology remains largely theoretical, classified research programs could have achieved breakthroughs not yet publicly acknowledged. The Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center at 29 Palms, California, has reported similar phenomena to those observed near Dugway. Personnel at the facility describe encounters with objects displaying flight characteristics identical to those reported around the Utah installation. The correlation suggests either shared technology development programs or coordinated testing of similar systems. Navy personnel at the Pacific Missile Range facility in Hawaii have also recorded encounters matching Dugway area sightings. The global pattern implies either widespread exotic technology testing by U.S. forces or the presence of non-human technology at multiple locations. The timing of increased UFO activity around Dugway correlates with changes in national defense priorities. The 2018 National Defense Strategy identified near-peer competitors like China and Russia as primary threats, emphasizing the need for technological superiority in future conflicts. Developing revolutionary propulsion systems and aerospace technologies would be essential for maintaining military advantage. China's reported development of hypersonic weapons and unusual aerial vehicles has sparked concern among U.S. defense officials. The Pentagon's focus on UFO research through programs like AATI-TIP and AARO may partly reflect efforts to determine whether observed phenomena represent foreign technology that exceeds American capabilities. Dugway's isolation and security make it an ideal location for developing countermeasures to foreign advanced technology or for reverse engineering captured systems. The facility's combination of materials analysis capabilities, electromagnetic research equipment, and secure testing ranges provides everything needed for such programs. The recruitment of personnel with specific backgrounds supports this interpretation. Job postings for Dugway positions have requested expertise in exotic materials, electromagnetic propulsion, and non-conventional aerospace technologies. These requirements go beyond the facility's stated biological and chemical defense mission. Private contractors involved in Dugway operations include companies known for classified aerospace work, Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division, Boeing's Phantom Works, and Northrop Grumman's advanced development programs all maintain personnel at the facility. These organizations have historically developed the military's most secret aircraft and could be working on next-generation systems at Dugway. The involvement of these contractors suggests programs operating at the highest classification levels. Special access programs managed by these companies often remain secret for decades and involve technologies that seem impossible until they're eventually revealed. Dugway's future expansion plans include additional underground facilities and extended restricted airspace. Environmental impact studies reference long-term research programs requiring enhanced security and isolation. The language suggests activities planned to continue for decades, consistent with the development timeline for revolutionary military technologies. Congressional oversight of Dugway operations remains limited due to classification restrictions. Members of the House and Senate Armed Services Committees receive briefings on certain programs, but the details remain compartmentalized even within the intelligence community. This level of secrecy typically indicates programs of extraordinary sensitivity and national importance. The facility's budget allocations show continued growth in classified program funding. The 2024 defense appropriation includes $127 million for special access programs at Dugway, representing sustained investment in whatever activities are conducted there. Such funding levels suggest programs with strategic importance beyond conventional military research. Local economic impacts from Dugway's expansion include increased demand for specialized construction services, advanced manufacturing capabilities, and technical personnel with security clearances. The employment patterns suggest long-term programs requiring substantial infrastructure and human resources. The transformation of Dugway from a chemical weapons testing site to a potential center for exotic technology research mirrors the evolution of Area 51 from a test site for secret aircraft to the world's most famous UFO-related facility. Whether Dugway is developing revolutionary human technology or studying recovered non-human artifacts, its role in America's most classified programs seems certain to grow. To skeptics. Skeptics point to several explanations for the unusual phenomena reported around Dugway Proving Ground. The facility's legitimate mission involves testing advanced military systems that could easily be misidentified as anomalous by civilian observers. Hypersonic vehicles, stealth aircraft, and experimental drones regularly operate from the installation, potentially explaining many UFO reports. The psychological factor of suggestion plays a significant role. Once an area gains a reputation for UFO activity, witnesses become primed to interpret conventional phenomena as extraordinary. Aircraft lights, atmospheric reflections, and astronomical objects can appear mysterious to observers expecting to see something unusual. The Area 51 comparison itself may create expectations that influence witness perceptions. Many reported sightings lack independent verification or physical evidence. Witness testimonies, while compelling, suffer from the inherent unreliability of human memory and perception. Distance, lighting conditions, and emotional states can dramatically affect the accuracy of eyewitness accounts. Military exercises involving flares, decoys, and electronic countermeasures could create effects that witnesses interpret as structured craft. These arguments deserve consideration, but they don't address the specific technical details reported by trained observers like pilots and former military personnel with relevant expertise. Unanswered questions. Why has Dugway's classified budget increased by over 300% since 2018, far exceeding inflation or normal program growth? What is Project Looking Glass, and why do declassified references describe non-conventional lift technologies being tested there? Why do flight patterns show regular unmarked aircraft movements between Dugway and Area 51 during nighttime hours? What materials require biosafety level 4 containment protocols if the facility only handles known biological and chemical agents? Why do multiple independent witnesses describe identical flight characteristics and craft observed near the facility across different time periods? What if Dugway serves as a backup to Area 51, providing redundant capabilities for the military's most classified aerospace programs? The facility's larger restricted airspace and more recent construction could offer advantages over Nevada's aging infrastructure. Is it possible that sensitive programs are being quietly transferred from the world's most watched military base to one that operates in complete anonymity? Could the underground construction at Dugway be designed to house materials or technology that pose unknown environmental or safety risks? The extreme containment measures suggest handling of substances or objects whose properties aren't fully understood. What would